He will play for the Memphis Grizzlies this season. On June 28th, the Cavs traded small forward Isaac Okoro to the Chicago Bulls for Lonzo Ball, despite the fact that the Cavs had extended Okoro's contract less than a year ago. With Jerome gone, a healthy Lonzo Ball is expected to add depth at ball handling, shooting, and defense. Keeping Ball healthy is the key to the successful outcome of this move. Forward Emoni Bates is now an unrestricted free agent. That doesn't mean he's leaving, and it also doesn't guarantee he's staying either. He could return to the Cavs with a new contract, or he could end up on another team. Guard Sam Merrill has been signed to a 4-year, $38 million contract. Team sources say his perimeter shooting capability make him a key re-sign for the upcoming season. There are 3 other players that are up in the air. Tristan Thompson and Javonte Green are both unrestricted free agents. They could be in the same boat as Bates. Luke Travers is a restricted free agent, which means the Cavs can match any offer from another team if they want to keep him. In the early rounds of the draft, the Cavs had no first-round pick because of the trade that brought Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland back in 2022. However, the Cavs did sign Duke guard Tyrese Proctor with the 49th overall pick and Saliu Niang with a 58th pick in the second round. Team sources say Niang will likely stay in Europe to continue his development before coming stateside. All of these moves are intended to position the Cavs to go deep in the playoffs this coming season and possibly make the finals. The injuries to Indiana Pacers Tyrese Halliburton and Boston Celtics Jason Tatum might clear a path for a healthy Cavs squad to cruise through to the finals, but the Celtics should not be counted out completely. The New York Knicks, Milwaukee Bucks, Orlando Magic, Detroit Pistons, and Atlanta Hawks are all Eastern Conference teams that could give the Cavs a run for their money this coming season. In related news, the WNBA has awarded the city of Cleveland a new women's basketball franchise. The Cleveland Rockers were among the core 8 teams when the league started, and the Rockers played from 1997 to 2003 before the team disbanded. The new team will begin play in 2028, but the name their Cleveland Rockers is not guaranteed, despite the obvious connection to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the nod to the past. The Cleveland Barons were a National Hockey League team that disbanded, and when hockey came back to Cleveland with the World Hockey Association, Cleveland chose the name the Crusaders. Later, when Cleveland had another opportunity with the NHL, the name Barons was used again, but the team ultimately merged with Minnesota and eventually evolved into the Dallas Stars. The new WNBA team will be owned by Dan Gilbert's Rock Entertainment Group and will play at Rocket Arena, the Cleveland Clinic basketball facility in Independence that had been home to the Cavaliers for practices and workouts will become property of the women's team when the new Cleveland Clinic Global Peak Performance Center for the Cavs opens in the Flats in downtown Cleveland in 2027. Nick Camino from ONN affiliate WKYC-TV in Cleveland offers perspective on the new WNBA franchise.
Women's professional basketball is coming back to downtown Cleveland. The WNBA making it official this morning.
I'm thrilled to welcome Cleveland and Detroit back and to welcome Philadelphia.
And play will start quickly. For Cleveland, it will happen in 2028, less than 3 years away. It's been a long time coming for Northeast Ohio. The Cleveland Rockers were founding members of the league back in 1997. And for 7 years, they called downtown Cleveland home. But poor play on the court and smaller crowds led to the team folding in 2003. Now, 22 years later, Cleveland seems to be the perfect fit for an expansion team. A recently renovated arena to play in, an NBA-level practice facility in Independence they can call their own once the Cavs move out, and an owner in Dan Gilbert that is willing to spend money to put a team on the floor. $250 million is reportedly just the expansion fee.
We're fortunate. These are hard to get. These franchises are very hard to get, so we should be very, very proud as a city and as a state. There's a tremendous competition to land these franchises, and so to be the 16th team in the WNBA is a very, very proud moment for our franchise, for our family of companies, for Dan. We are going to do this thing right.
We saw the rise of women's basketball firsthand right here in Cleveland. Tens of thousands came to downtown to watch Caitlin Clark and Dawn Staley's South Carolina Gamecocks in the 2024 Women's Final Four. and millions more watched on TV.
We're getting the coverage, we're getting the opportunities, like it's just taking off, and I think it just shows, where it's going to go, whether it's the WNBA, whether it's the college game. You see how much young talent's in our game.
At the WNBA level, crowds have never been bigger, and TV ratings have never been higher. You can call it the Caitlin Clark effect, but the impact hasn't just been felt in Indianapolis or Iowa City. All across the country, women's basketball has never been more popular, and Cleveland will get a front row seat to it all.
And as we mentioned, this is the perfect storm for Cleveland. Yes, you're getting another professional sports franchise, but you're getting one from the WNBA, which right now has never been more popular.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
The Fan is the official station of summertime. Sipping on a lemonade, the smell of fresh-cut grass in the air, and Common Man playing fart noises on the radio.
Was that a fart?
Ah, summer. The Fan, Ohio's summer destination.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
He opens his toolbox before he opens his wallet and believes you can fix anything with 20 minutes and some pride. He's Mr. DIY, and when he needs metal, he goes to metal supermarkets. Artists, hobbyists, machine shops, maintenance professionals, and welders all count on metal supermarkets for over 8,000 metal products, shapes, and grades. If it's metal, they've got it or can get it for you. Cut to any size and ready fast. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
It's July in Central Ohio. The grills are hot, the sun is hotter, and chances are you've seen a Newman Roofing truck rolling through your neighborhood. Maybe you've talked to one of our team members at a local event, or know someone who proudly says, yeah, I've got a Newman roof. At Newman Roofing, we're more than just a roofing company. We're your neighbors. And for the last 33 years, your support has helped us grow as a family-owned business. So we give back the best way we know how, with quality work, lasting relationships, and a lifetime workmanship warranty that means you'll never be left out in the rain. Thousands of families across Central Ohio have trusted us and had their expectations exceeded. And it's why we've been voted Best Roofing Company in Best of the Bus magazine for 4 years running now. So this summer, don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
July 6, 1949, the Reds versus the Cubs at Crosley Field. And what a hot day, the temperature reaching a record 99 degrees. But as hot as the day was, the Reds' offense was even hotter, scoring 23 runs. And the hottest of all was Walker Cooper, who had the greatest one-game batting performance in Reds history. In 6 at-bats, Cooper had 3 home runs, 3 singles, and 10 runs batted in. His 15 total bases and 10 RBIs are still club records. Amazingly, Cooper only played 97 games for the Reds. He spent most of his career in St. Louis, but the big catcher only needed this one game to enter the Reds record books this July 6, 1949, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
The Department of Veterans Affairs is so innovative, it not only improves the lives of veterans, it transforms the lives of healthcare professionals who serve them with access to the latest technologies and remarkable benefits. Transform your future at vacareers.va.gov.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Dr. David Udolph is a Cleveland psychologist and the author of Sport Between the Years at Psychology Today magazine. He joins us now on Ohio Sports Magazine to talk about a play call that transcends all aspects of sports and life. It's called Pause, Notice, Choose. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Jay, and thanks for having me on this morning.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I remember as a child, I heard the phrase, count to 10 before you blow up. That was early childhood anger management. Is that just good life advice?
Absolutely. I mean, I think taking a brief pause before anything we do will improve the choices that we make. Too often our choices in sports and life are based on impulse. They're based on, just letting those emotions take over and letting emotions run your life. Letting impulses run your life is kind of like turning the keys of a car over to a 3-year-old. And as is impulsive decision-making.
When I think about sports and I think about this last year with Ohio State and watching Will Howard at quarterback, I noticed that he took his time in the pocket. And that's probably where I first felt a connection to pause, notice, choose. How does this translate to other sports where action moves much faster?
Well, you've got to be really paying attention. Really, 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 attention is the key ingredient, okay, to exceptional, to elite sports performance, or for that matter, any quality sports performance. You've got to be really watching. And that time span can be very brief. So, for example, a great example of that would be a baseball hitter. Jay, do you know how long it takes a 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball to reach the plate before it leaves the pitcher's hand?
What is it, less than 2 seconds?
Blink, and that's it.
Okay.
It's milliseconds.
Okay.
And in that time span, if that hitter is not really watching the ball, what they have to do is, there's a pause there. You can't impulsively swing. You can't just, you've got to see what the ball's doing in milliseconds. And that requires absolute attention, okay? Exquisite attention. Because in those milliseconds, you have to be able to perhaps pick up the grip on the ball as the pitcher's releasing, the rotation of the ball, the location of the ball, all kinds of information. There's a brief pause between the time the hitter drops his foot and swings. And so that's an example of a very, very brief pause. But in that pause, what we're really doing is noticing, really paying attention. Notice is the key. With your eyes, in some cases, your ears, of really seeing what's happening, noticing. Too often we get caught up on our thoughts and our feelings, which can intervene. Hitters that are up there trying to, they've got it in their head, I want to hit a home run, and they overswing, and the ball's a change up, it's breaking away, and they're way out in front, and they spin around and fall flat on their face. So that's an example of so it's in that pause, with the pause, there's the notice and the choose. And the notice really involves eyes, ears, sense of touch, depending on what you're doing. Is that all making sense?
It does, but my question now is, how does that stimulus response model work?
The stimulus response model, in between the stimulus and response, is the organisms, okay? And what you're doing is your senses is what gives you the information from what's going on in the outside world. So it works by, if you're not getting tangled up in your thoughts and emotions and impulses, your brain is going to be able to process the information that your eyes, ears, sense of touch, sometimes smell, sometimes taste, also proprioception, which is the sense of your body movement, okay, which sometimes gets overlooked, allowing your mind, your brain to process that without getting tangled up in those thoughts and emotions. Okay, does that answer your question?
It does. It kind of reminds me of the baseball movie Bull Durham, where Kevin Costner pulls himself out of the batter's box and says, "Get out of your head."
Exactly. That's exactly. See, that's part of pause notice. He noticed that he was in his head, and the game is not played in your head. The game is played on the field. So he's taking a pause. He actually recognized, hey, wait a minute, I'm in my head. Let's reboot here. He was staring at his mental dashboard. Get out of your head. Get into the game.
Do coaches embrace and implement the concept of pause, notice, choose?
Yes, they do. And I'll tell you, one guy that was really good with that was Nick Saban. And a great example of pause, notice, choose, if I could bring this up, I think you'll find this interesting. He was interviewing Britton Colquitt, who punted for the Denver Broncos, Cleveland Browns. He's been to 3 Super Bowls. And we were talking, and by the way, pro athletes love talking about the mental game. Usually when they're talking to sports writers, they want to get out of there as quickly as possible. But boy, talking to Britton Colquitt, the interview went for 45 minutes, and I'm not kidding. And we were at Browns. He was at Browns training camp. A great example of pause, notice, choose. So he was talking about playing. He says to me in the middle of the interview, he goes, "Do you know what it's like playing at a Super Bowl?" It was a rhetorical question. But I responded, well, no, not really. I've never played in the NFL, so I wouldn't know. And he laughed. He said, well, he says, you're terrified. I go, really? I said, how so? He says, well, he says, you've got, 80,000 people screaming, cameras zooming in on you, 200 million plus people watching you on TV, and the thoughts are going through your head. I could cost my team the Super Bowl. If I screw this up, I could mess this up. And I said, wow. I said, well, did that affect your game? And he goes, no, not at all. And I said, well, how so? He says, well, you're standing back there waiting for the snap, and he says, you're frozen, as you mentioned, Jay. You're frozen. He says, but I focused on 2 things, breathe and just catch the ball. So he was choosing what to focus on. He was getting his eyes off of that mental dashboard.
The concept, again, pause, notice, choose. And we'll be talking more with Dr. Udelf as we go through the sports throughout the year. And there is more Ohio Sports Magazine straight ahead on the Ohio News Network.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
As we celebrate Independence Day this week, we need to celebrate and protect our students' freedom to learn. Public education is the foundation of a strong democracy. When we remember our American history, both the good and the bad, our students grow as critical thinkers who can write themselves into the history books of tomorrow.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm getting married today.
You may now kiss the bride.
I'm also a firefighter and first responder. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're also making sure I can get to my wedding ceremony to start the next chapter of my life.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Surviving Ohio State is a new documentary produced by George Clooney that is based on the 2020 Sports Illustrated article entitled, "Why Aren't More People Talking About the Ohio State Sex Abuse Scandal?" It was written by John Wertheim. The article and documentary chronicle the years of alleged sexual abuse against OSU male wrestlers, football players, and other athletes at the hands of Dr. Richard Strauss, with the victims speaking, some for the first time, about their trauma. The documentary also alleges that Republican Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, who was an OSU assistant coach from 1986 to 1994, not only knew about the abuse, but did nothing about it. Leon Bibb joins us now from our affiliate WKYC TV3 in Cleveland to discuss this on Ohio Sports Magazine. Welcome back, my friend.
Oh, good to hear your voice, Jay. Good to hear your voice.
Always good to be with you as well. So, Leon, what was your initial reaction when you saw this documentary?
Yeah, I kind of found it. I was just kind of flipping through the channels on my television, and it flipped up, and it was right there at the very beginning, and I said, I'll look at a little bit of it and then walk away. Well, I sat there for the entire thing. It was riveting, and I couldn't tear myself away from it, yet at the same time, I wanted to tear myself away from it because it was so distressing and so depressing, but I couldn't leave it. So that was my initial reaction.
I have the same exact reaction, and I want to ask you this. Why do you think the abuse went on for as long as it did before it was eventually discovered, believed in, and addressed? What took so long?
That's a good question. I mean, if people knew about it, but I guess it wasn't pressed. It wasn't pushed hard enough. It should not have had to be pushed at all. But I think that the young men were reluctant to come forward for whatever reason. I know they certainly didn't enjoy what was going on when Dr. Strauss was examining them, but I think they just didn't know how to handle it. I think it caught them off guard, and they just wanted to forget it if they could forget it. I think the times, Jay, I think the times were also just the way it was. That they didn't know where to go or how to go or even to push it any further is the only thing I can get out of it.
At first, the allegations were dismissed as rumor and innuendo. Now, you've been a reporter for almost 55 years. As a reporter, what steps need to be taken before rumor and innuendo can become a reportable story?
Well, you have to be very careful. Rumors can get started. I mean, I took courses when I was in college, journalism courses about rumor and rumor control, and we was told all the time in journalism we don't report rumors, we report reports. And that was the difference. So I think it started as rumor, but then the young men, the athletes at Ohio State, talked amongst themselves, so they knew this was not just a rumor. This was actually happening as they began to trade stories back and forth about what was going on in the locker room.
How did you approach this, or how would you have approached this as a reporter on the air?
I think carefully, very carefully. I think very carefully, because you're talking about somebody's reputation, whether it is deserved or not. Dr. Strauss, I think I would have certainly gone to him if you could have found him to ask him about these allegations or these or what is rumors to see if there was anything to it, and certainly try to talk to some of the athletes to get their perspective of the story. And if it held up with what the young men were saying, I certainly would have had to go to the highest levels of the university. You've got to go to the athletic director. You've got to go to the coaches. You've got to go to the president's office, and certainly the board of trustees.
Do you think the homosexual nature of the claims led to the silence surrounding the abuse?
Yes, I do. I think the young men didn't know how to handle it, and perhaps and all I know is what was in this documentary that we're talking about. That was on television, the OSU documentary. I think that the young men were perhaps naive, young, perhaps first-time college people in their families on scholarship, and they didn't want to screw that up. They didn't want to blow that. They didn't want that to go away, and they knew that if they went public, things would change, and they could judge the tenor in the room. And it appears that they were frightened about what would happen to them if they said these allegations. After all, you're talking about a medical doctor. You're talking about a person who's gone to school, gone to medical school, and was held in high regard by the university. And to try to take him down would be difficult in their minds. I think certainly at their tender ages of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, when they are still finding their way, when they are coming of age, when they don't fully understand even what's happening in their own lives, other than the sports.
And for two of those individuals, one was kicked off the team for not coming to practice on time, and the other simply could not continue because the allegations weren't taken seriously. And that had a long-term impact on both their career choices and their emotional health in general. Certainly. I mean, when you see what happened to those who were kicked off the team, or those who could not come back to the team, then maybe you say, I don't want to be involved. But then you get dragged into it anyway. You are involved because of what is happening in the locker room. And I don't think they knew how to get around it. You had said earlier that times were different back then. Given the difference in culture between today and the 1980s, do you believe this type of abuse could go unreported in our society today? I don't think it could go unreported because of what we have seen, because of the Ohio State scandal, because of what happened at Pennsylvania, Penn State, I think it was, and another school up in Michigan, and because of what happened to the young women on the Olympic team who said the same gymnastics, who said the same kinds of things were taking place with them. I think the times have changed, and you have to look at the time period something takes place.
And I think the late 70s, the early 80s, the 1980s, I think that would have had to have an impact on how these young men would respond. Were that to happen today, I don't think there'd be any doubt. I think people would be pulled off very quickly. I think the doctor or Strauss would have been investigated quite openly, quite quickly with that kind of allegation. Nobody would want to hear these kinds of allegations and then do absolutely nothing about it in this day and age.
The documentary is called Surviving Ohio State. It is available on Max, and however you get Max is how you can watch it. And we want to thank Leon Bibb for joining us with his thoughts, which I echo almost entirely. There's more Ohio Sports Magazine straight ahead on the Ohio News Network.
Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
The big one is back. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Don't miss Good Guys autocross racing action. A tire-smoking burnout competition. A pro street takeover. Earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest. Meet the top builders in the industry and more. July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com. I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast. Sunshine in the forecast here on your Sunday. 94 for a high temperature, but with the humidity, it will feel like it's in the mid to upper 90s here for the afternoon. We are tracking cooler temperatures, highs back to the 80s, but showers and storms likely here on Monday. And that's your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan. This is ONN.
NBA free agency officially began this week. Last weekend, the Cleveland Cavaliers agreed to a trade with the Chicago Bulls, sending small forward Isaac Okoro to Chicago in exchange for combo guard Lonzo Ball. Cleveland also signed shooting guard Sam Merrill to a 4-year, $38 million contract. There's been one departure. Sixth Man of the Year finalist Ty Jerome signed a 3-year deal with the Memphis Grizzlies worth $28 million. There won't be too much more for Cleveland, as they'll likely run it back next season with the same core that won 64 games last year. Chris Fedor covers the Cavaliers for Cleveland.com and The Plain Dealer. He joined Bo Bishop earlier this week on ONN affiliate WBNS-FM in Columbus. Chris says there's not enough cash for Cleveland to make another significant free agent signing.
They are a team that is deep into the luxury tax. They are one of two teams projected to be above the second apron. And once you get into the second apron, it really limits what you can do from an external standpoint in terms of improving the roster. Not from an internal standpoint, but from an external standpoint in terms of improving the roster. So I think for them, based on everything that they're dealing with from a financial standpoint, and based on everything that happened to them in the second round playoff loss against the Indiana Pacers, the ideal scenario was make minor moves around the margins to fortify the bench with guys that they think can be better equipped to help them in a playoff environment. For them, it's no longer about the regular season. They've done everything that they needed to do to show that they can master the regular season. They can be a great regular season team. They can be the number one team in the regular season in the Eastern Conference. They got to figure out the 16-game playoffs. That's their job. That's the next step for this organization. And I think what they did, in part by acquiring Lonzo Ball, is they brought in somebody that they believe can be more impactful in a playoff run, certainly more impactful than Isaac Okoro. So I think what they were trying to do was look at the weaknesses of the bench and the limitations of the bench and saying, we've got to find guys that our coaching staff can believe in and trust more when we get into the toughest playoff environments in the NBA.
Do they feel like they can accomplish that? Do they love their core four more than some fans do?
I believe so, but I think that comes with a caveat too, Bo. I think they love it to the point of saying yes to a potential deal, right? I think they're willing to listen. I think they're more willing to listen, and they have been more willing to listen this offseason on Darius Garland and Jared Allen. Like, forget Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. Those guys are the here and now, and they're also the future. But the quote-unquote expendable pieces of the core four, I think they're more willing to listen on, and I think they were more willing to have conversations about those guys. But there had to be a deal out there that they were going to be willing to say yes to. And that's the thing of where it stops. They had to find a deal out there if they were going to have those conversations where they said, yes, this makes us a better basketball team. This makes the fit better. This brings us closer to some of the other teams in the Eastern Conference. This allows us to take the next step and go from being a great team to a championship team. And I just don't think there was a player or a package out there that the Cavs were willing to say yes to involving either Jared Allen or Darius Garland. But look, you know this, Bo. You're a core piece of a team until you're no longer a core piece of a team. You know, Marcus Smart.
Right.
Marcus Smart was the heart and soul of the Boston Celtics, and they traded him because they felt like they had a package out there that was going to make them better, and it did make them better, and it brought them a championship with Kristaps Porzingis. Harrison Barnes, 10 years ago, was a core piece of the Golden State Warriors, a guy that they tanked for crying out loud. And he was a piece of a 73-win team, and he was a core member of the Golden State Warriors dynasty until they had an opportunity to get Kevin Durant. So Darius Garland and Jared Allen are going to be core members of this team until the Cavs see an opportunity that they think would make them a better basketball team. That's how teams have to operate in today's NBA.
Yeah, and I think if you're them, at least if I put myself in their shoes, I'm looking around, and I'm not going to deal with the Oklahoma City monster just yet. But just from the perspective of the East, Jason Tatum, torn Achilles, Halliburton, torn Achilles. Like, you won 64 games last year. You're battered in the postseason. Like, going into next season, if they just stay where they are and the losses, Ty Jerome and a couple other things around the perimeter, around the periphery, they're the clear favorite in the East. So to me, like if I'm them, I'm thinking like we just got to add a couple of things and we can win the East.
So that's the other part of this. The calculus changed in the Eastern Conference. The landscape in the Eastern Conference changed. And I think if we were having a conversation, Bo, about a month ago, we could have said, all right, the Cavs are not on the level of the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are better than them, and they're going to continue to be better than them. And the Cavs have to do something to get themselves closer to Indiana. And that probably would have been an external move, maybe even a significant move. And you probably could have said, well, the Cavs aren't on the same level as the Boston Celtics, and the Cavs aren't on the same level as the Oklahoma City Thunder. But like two of those teams that you would really have that conversation about, they aren't the same threat that they were. And it seems harsh to say that, and it's unfortunate for Boston because they're not going to have Jason Tatum, and it's unfortunate for Indiana that they're not going to have Tyrese Halliburton. But if the Cavs weren't going to be able to do anything realistic from a roster construction standpoint to pull themselves closer to both Indiana and Boston, they needed something to happen that was going to organically bring Boston and Indiana closer to them. And that happened. That happened because Jason Tatum ruptured his Achilles. And it happened because Tyrese Halliburton is not going to be available all season long. So the Cavs, they got closer to Indiana. They got closer to Boston. And it didn't require them doing anything.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save on select bags of Doritos, Cheetos, or Tostitos. Mix and match your favorite flavors and buy 2, get 3 free with your card. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
At United Dairy Farmers, peach is our most popular ice cream. And once you taste it, you'll know why. Right now, get 2 48-ounce cartons of UDF peach ice cream for $10. It's only here for a short time. UDF peach ice cream, made for you.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station or buy online. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Hear that? That's the sound of freedom. This July, declare your independence on the open road during RCD RV's Declare Your Independence sale, running July 5th through the 19th, offering all-American savings on all in-stock motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Wave goodbye to ordinary vacations and say hello to adventure. Stop by any of our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at rcdrv.com. Celebrate the red, white, and blue with unbeatable savings at RCD RV. RCD RV. Freedom starts on the open road.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's getting wet, if Baths R Us a ring, call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Summer is hot, sticky, and buggy. But Modelo is cold, crisp, and smooth. When you're sweating through your shirt and the beach is mad crowded, the lime and salt flavors of a Modelo Chelada hit just right. When the weather's perfect but you're still at work, it's time to clock out and stock up on Modelo. Drink responsibly. Beer and flavored beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Did you know their co-founders are Ohio natives? Yep, with over 15 years replacing windows in the Columbus region, Window Nation knows what windows work best for Ohio homeowners like you. And right now, you can get 50% off all window styles plus no interest until 2030. That's right, 0 interest for 5 whole years. Even better, you can take advantage of the best deal of the year while getting one-day installation with Window Nation. Call 866-90-NATION today or visit windownation.com for your free quote.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is ONN.
The Buddy LaRosa's High School Hall of Fame, a well-known and highly regarded stable in Southwest Ohio, recently inducted the 1983 Princeton High School football team in Cincinnati that won a state championship. Harlan Barnett was a key player on that squad, who later played defensive back at Michigan State and had a career in the NFL before embarking on a coaching career that eventually saw him become the head coach at Michigan State. On the day that team was honored, Harlan Barnett talked about the honor for his Princeton High School squad.
Harlan, first off, just to ask you about your high school team being honored by the LaRosa's Hall of Fame, and those of us from this area are pretty biased about high school football in Southwest Ohio, but you got to be excited about it.
Very excited. Our team, we had a really, really good team, and if I'm honest with you, Paul, I believe we would have gone back-to-back if our quarterback hadn't got hurt the first 2 games of the next year, because I was a junior and Michael Taylor was also a junior. We were co-captains our senior year. We lose the first 2 games. We didn't have him. He came back. We went 8 straight. And the funny thing about it is both years, regular season, we went 8-2. Got in the playoffs our junior year, didn't make it our senior year. But, hey, it's a great honor to be here and inducting our team into the Buddy LaRosa's Hall of Fame. It's an awesome honor, along with our coach, Coach Mancuso, 96 years old, man, and still sharp as a tack. And I talked to him back in November, and he mentioned this to me, and I said, Coach, only way I can make it if you do it towards the end of June. If it can get towards the end of June, I can make it. Beginning of June, I probably won't be able to make it. So I appreciate him letting me know about it, and I'm glad I was able to make it down here.
Harlan, you mentioned Michael Taylor, but also with yourself, Alex Higdon, guys that went on and played in the Big Ten. That has to speak to the talent level you guys had at Princeton.
Absolutely. We Coach Mancuso did a great job, and his staff did a great job of developing guys, and we were a talent-rich school. Like you mentioned, Alex. Prior to Alex, tight end, we had Arnold Franklin. That I know he went to North Carolina, as well as Bill Franklin, my classmate, the other safety. He went to North Carolina as well. And then, like you said, Alex, Ohio State, and Mike, Michigan, and myself, Michigan State. So, we had a lot of talented guys that come out of Princeton High School.
Harlan, you were there with Coach Perlis, and really was kind of a turning around of the Michigan State program. What was that like?
It was awesome because he spoke. All he preached about was toughness, and that fit with what I came from at Princeton, being physical and just physically tough. He always used to say, win, lose, or draw, the other team limps out the stadium. They got to limp out. So and oddly enough, when I went on to play professionally, and I would talk to guys that we played against, they said, some guys would say to me, man, we knew one thing, we was all going to be in the ice tub after the Michigan State game. So that made us feel good.
Obviously, the connection to Coach D'Antonio with what he did at Ohio State, with what he did at Michigan State, that has to be something that it probably hard to put into words, just the effect that he had on you as a coach, but also him as an individual, Harlan.
Absolutely. I love Coach D. I still talk to Coach D to this day. In my opinion, I've been a Spartan since 1985, the best coach, the best football coach Michigan State ever had, head coach. And he put us on the map as far as expectation. Now everybody's expectations are much higher than what they used to be prior to him getting there. And that's no disrespect to Coach Perlis. We did a phenomenal job. We won a Big Ten championship, won the Rose Bowl, all those things like that. But Coach D, he really put us on the map and raised the expectation. Before he got there, I think if you said, okay, Michigan State won 7, 8, maybe 9 games a year, it was okay. Now the double-digit thing has to happen, so to speak, at Michigan State, and it should be that way. I've always believed in that, and he raised it to that level.
Harlan, and exciting to be coaching in the Big Ten again with Northwestern.
I am. I'm looking forward to going into my second year there with Coach David Braun. He does it. Great dude. I'm working with a lot of really good people. That's the main thing that I look for, working with good people first. People that cared about the young men and developing young men, and that's what we're doing on and off the football field there. My wife and I are having a great time there, living there. We're actually living in the city. I always tell people we like the Jeffersons right now. So we downtown Chicago and right near Lakeshore Drive and the lake and all that. It's a beautiful thing, and again, working with a lot of good people, and we have high expectations this season for our football team.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now, let's get some highlights from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here's producer Colin Behringer to set the scene.
Thanks, Jay. This week on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, the guys discuss a possible reunion between the Cavaliers and LeBron James. And should it or will it even happen?
And the Cavs are at the place where he is the missing piece.
For him to come back now, I'm not convinced that
they want him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you might be right. I don't know. But you know what, Jay? Here's the funny thing about LeBron.
But like this, I don't want to turn this into, I know where this is going to go, and I know the kind of trouble that lies ahead for me when I say stuff like this. But they won 64 games without him.
They did, and they won one playoff series.
I know, but
yeah.
But like it has passed the point.
I don't care about the 64. They can win 81 games
as an organization.
81-1.
As an organization, they have passed the point of like now you're admitting we can't do it without you.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Listen,
guess what? They haven't.
But they are not ready to admit that.
Are they going to beat Oklahoma City next year without LeBron James?
I have no idea.
Would they have a better chance of beating Oklahoma City with LeBron James?
Oh, of course they do.
Okay, then let's go. What are we waiting on? Put the egos aside.
To catch the full breakdown, just search the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube, subscribe to their page, and enjoy daily content covering all things Cleveland sports. We'll be back to wrap up this week's Ohio Sports Magazine when we continue on the Ohio News Network.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the Ultimate OSU Football Insiders. You know it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Central Ohio contractors and homeowners. Tired of overpriced, low-quality cabinets? Well, it's time to upgrade your cabinet game. 3D Cabinetry is your go-to for fast, hassle-free service and cabinets you can trust from order to install. 3D Cabinetry delivers fully assembled all-wood affordable cabinets. No delays, no stress. Just quality craftsmanship delivered on time every time. Get started with your free consultation today at 3dcabinetry.net. That's 3dcabinetry.net, where quality meets affordability and reliability.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
At Logan Services, we're more than heating and air. We're a family-owned business that puts people first. For decades, we've built our reputation on honesty, hard work, and treating your home like it's our own. From the first phone call to the final handshake, you'll work with a caring, local team that shows up on time and does the job right. Because comfort isn't about temperature, it's about integrity. Logan Services, family-owned, people-focused, and proud to serve its customers.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Bob Mashetter from Dick Mashetter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at mashetterford.net. Thanks.
No school means no lunch for millions of kids in the summer. Let's come together, food banks, families, and generous individuals like you to make sure no child goes without food in the summer. Together, we can make a difference. Learn more at feedingamerica.org/summer.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
We want to thank Dr. David Udolph plus Leon Bibb and Nick Camino for their contributions to today's Ohio Sports Magazine. For Colin Behringer, Eric Reeser, and Paul Keels, I'm Jay Fox. Thanks for listening to Ohio Sports Magazine, and join us next week right here on the Ohio News Network.